തുടങ്ങി.
Trainer.
Trainer Anil sir.
Yeah, and when he'll come? He's on
Good
line
evening,
only?
everyone.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
You
Good
able
evening,
to hear
sir.
my
Evening, sir.
voice?
Yes, sir.
My
I'm
voice
able
is
to
clear to
listen.
everyone?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. You able to hear me? My voice
Yes,
is
sir.
audible to everyone?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. We are able to.
Please don't unmute your mic. Whatever you want to say, just write it in the chat. I'm seeing the chat box because it will disturb the session as well as others also. I already mute all of them, but please don't get unmute because the session will get disturbed. So, a request to everybody. Okay. So we'll proceed with the today's session. So yesterday, what we have discussed, do you remember, all of you? What are the things we discussed yesterday? Yes, you can write it on the chat. Don't unmute your mic, please. Yes, we discussed what is meant by network. Also, we discussed what is meant by networking. Then we also discuss what? We also discuss what? Types of networks. Yes, how many types of networks we discussed? 3 types. What are they? LAN, MAN, WAN. But we work only with what? LAN and WAN. Then we also discuss what are the 5 requirements to create any networks. What are those 5 requirements? We need devices. We need what? The media. We need the network connecting devices. That is the guided media or unguided media like cables and Wi-Fi. Then we discuss the operating system. And out of these 5, we discussed yesterday up to 4. But which is pending? Which is pending? What we have not discussed yesterday? Yes, logical addressing. So, to ensure the communication between 2 devices, what you need? Physical connectivity or logical or both? Yes, we need both. Unless until you don't have both, we cannot communicate. Yesterday we have discussed. Now, today we'll start our session with what? We'll start our today's session with what? The logical addressing. So, logical addressing is what? It's referred to what? IP address. So we'll be discussing our today's session with what? IP address. IP address stands for what? IP means what? It stands for what? IP stands for what? Yes. So I'm getting the answers right. It's called as Internet Protocol. So how many methods are there to assign the IP address? Yes. Can I have the answers? Please don't say, just write it in the chat box. I'm seeing the chat box. So please tell me how many methods you know to assign the IP address. Just tell me the methods. How many methods you are aware about? Yes, 2 methods are there. What are they? Static and dynamic. Static means what? When we assign the IP address manually, then it is called static. And when we assign the IP address dynamically means automatically, then it is called what? IP assigning through dynamic. So to assign the IP dynamically, we need a service called as what? DHCP. Yes. Then only it will work. So how to configure the DHCP? We will have a session in the third week of our course. So today we'll concentrate on what? How to assign static IP. But before we assign the static IP, we should be knowing about the IP address. So I think most of the people will be joined as in a package. So you will be also having the course, Cisco course or CCNA course, or you might have, some of you might have done already that. So in the Cisco, you will have the IP address class about 2 days. But in our MCSE course, in which we are going to discuss our course through LAN or WAN, yesterday we discussed our course, MCSE is based on LAN or WAN? LAN, yes. So for that, how much knowledge is needed? That we will discuss. In 1 day, 2 day session, we'll discuss about the IP address. So whatever we are going to discuss is enough for MCSE course. And if you want more depth knowledge for your WAN technology, that's why in CCNA course, you will have 2 day session, completely 2 day session, you will have IP addressing. But for our MCSE, how much detail you require, that we'll cover today in IP addressing. Because if you want to work in the network, compulsory you should have the knowledge about IP addressing. So we are working through a MCSE course on LAN or WAN on LAN. So for LAN, how much depth you require, that we will cover. The use of IP address, what the IP address will do? What the IP address will do? Now 2 machines are there. So I'm assigning physical connectivity and logical connectivity. Now they can communicate, yes. So what will be the IP address will be doing? What the IP address will do? Identifying the host and ensuring the communication. But every host on the, how the host will be identified? Yes, with the help of the IP address. So IP address will do 2 things. IP address will identify the host and ensure the communication between the devices. But IP address is assigned on where? On NIC card. Yesterday we have discussed, which is also called as LAN card or Ethernet card. So how the NIC card is identified? Suppose I'm trying to communicate from one machine to the other machine. So both machine will have separate LAN card. On both machine, IP will be same or different? Same. Different IP. Then this device understand the other device. How it will? So communication will be done through the IP address, but the IP address will be there on the NIC card. So one machine understand or identify the other machine NIC card with the help of what? MAC address. So MAC address will be unique like IP address. So the MAC address of this system will identify the MAC address of the other machine with whom you want the communication. Then identification of the LAN card is done with the help of MAC address. And the identification of the machine and the communication will be done through the IP address. So these are the 2 things you have to remember. MAC address will identify what? The NIC card. And with the IP address, we will have communication between the devices. With the help of the IP address, we'll have what? Communication. So somebody wrote here, my voice is breaking. Is it only for you, Akbar, or for everybody? Can you write others? My voice is okay or it's breaking? It's okay for others. I got some answer. It's okay. Okay. So just okay. So just give me a few minutes. We'll see. Most of the people it's saying what? It's okay. Just give me a few minutes. After still, if it's the same thing is there, I'll check it out. But till now it's okay. Okay. So can I proceed now? So what is the purpose of having the NIC card? And the communication between the devices takes place through the IP address. So the IP address can be assigned by using how many methods? Two methods. What are they? Static and dynamic. So we are going to discuss how to assign IP address statically first. Dynamically we'll see in the third week. So to assign the IP address statically or dynamically, how many options we have? Two options, static and dynamic. So in these two options, we also have what? How many versions of IP address we have? To assign the static or IP or dynamic IP, we have two versions of IP addressing scheme. What are they? IP version 4 and IP version 6. So what is the difference between these two, IP version 4 and IP version 6? The difference lies in the what? The length, the bit. IP version 4 is been designed on 32-bit, whereas the IP version 6 is designed on how many bits? 128 bits. So we'll be focusing or assigning the IP address IP version 4 or IP version 6? 4. You will be going to discuss about the IP version 6 in your CCNA course. So we will concentrate on IP version 4. So which is consist of how many bit? 32 bit. So how many IP address you can assign in the IP version 4? What is the formula or what is the logic? 2 to the power of 32 minus 2. So in every network you cannot assign two IPs, first and last, because first IP is what? Broadcast. And the last IP is what? Sorry, last IP is broadcast, first IP is network ID. So how many IPs you can assign in the IP version 4? 2 to the power of 32, which will roughly come to what? 4.3 billions IP addresses we can assign. And how many IPs you can assign in the IP version 6? Same formula, same logic, 2 to the power of 128. That is a very huge number. Yes? Yes. So we will focus on which one? IP version 4 or IP version 6? IP version 4. So IP version 4 consists of how many bits, or what is the length of that IP version 4? 32 bit. So this 32 bits, which means what? It will be in the form of what? Zeros and ones. So can we remember that length, zeros and ones, and that too of 32 bits? It's very difficult. So to make it easier, the ISP, or you can say the INA department, so first they try to make it simple by dividing the 32 bits into what? 4 octet. So the IP address is first divided into what? To make it simple, what? Into the octet. What do you mean by octet? Octet means what? Yes, 8 bits. So this 32 bits is been divided into 32 bits. It's been divided into what? 4 octet. So let us see that. So I'll go to the slide later. Let me first give you the idea. Give the idea about the. We are going to discuss about which one? IP version 4, which is consist of how many bits? 32 bits. So this 32 bits means it will be consist of 32 bits in the form of what? All zeros and ones. So like this. It will be the combination of zeros and one. How many bits like this? 32 bits. So can whether it is easy to remember this? It's not easy. Then to make it easier, what they have done? They divided these into form of what? Octet. Octet means what? 8 bits. So here, this total 32 bits have been divided into what? 4 octet. So each octet contain how many bits? 32 bits. So still, it is not as simple as they wanted. So it is become little bit simple, but not very simple, which we can easily remember. So they thought to convert these bits into what? Or the binary number into what? Decimal. So they thought of dividing this total number, the range will be what? All zeros. All zeros to the range is what? All ones. So they thought of dividing. This is the range, total range from all zeros to all ones. So this is about the one octet. If you understand one octet, all the octets will be same. So now, if it is all, how to convert this binary into the decimal? How to convert this decimal into binary? You know the rules. This is what? 2 to the power of 0. This is 2 to the power of 1. This is 2 to the power of 2. This is 2 to the power of 3. This is 2 to the power of 4. This is 2 to the power of 5. This is 2 to the power of 6. This is 2 to the power of 7. So 0 into anything in max says what? 0 into anything is what? 0. But here, if you take this, what will be this number now? What will be this number now? So here it will come in the reverse order. So 1 into 2 to the power of plus 1 into 2 to the power of 5 plus 1 into 2 to the power of 4 plus 1 into 2 to the power of 3 plus 1 into 2 to the power of 2 plus 1 into 2 to the power of 1 plus 1 into 2 to the power of 0. So 1 into 2 to the power of 0, how much? Yes, anybody write it? 1 into 2 to the power of 0, how much? 0? No, it's 1. 2 to the power of 0 is what? 1. Into 1, how much? It is 1. Plus 2 plus 4. Somebody written nicely. 8. Then 2 to the power of this 16. 2 to the power of 5, 32. Plus 64. 64 plus how much? 128. So this all together, it comes to what? 255. So if you convert this binary into decimal, what will be the range now? What will be the range? All zeros to all 1. Now, in the decimal, the range will be what? 0 dot, 0 dot, 0 dot, 2, 255, 255, 255. So this is your decimal numbers. So now, when compared to binary, remembering decimal number is little bit easier. So the range from 0 to 0 is now 4 octet is what? 0 to 255. How to get 255? You understood? Everybody understood this? So now this is the first thing they tried to convert the binary into decimal. So in this, how many IPs we can assign in this combination? 4.3 billion IPs. But still it is not easy to remember. So then they thought of dividing this decimal into what? Classes. So they divided this complete range to 255 into what? Classes. So how many classes you have in the IP version 4? So total, this range of IP address is divided into what? Classes. Yes, very nice answer. Somebody written. How many classes are there? Sai Teja has written. How many classes are there? 5 classes. What are they? What are those classes? What are those classes? Class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. So total this range of the IP address in IP version 4 from 0 dot to 255, 0 dot to 255 is been divided into 5 classes. What are they 5 classes? Class A, class. Please don't make a request for video. The bandwidth will get affected, yours and ours. And session will be what? Not smooth. It will be very slow. So please try to have the session audio wise. You can see the things and you will be getting the recording. You can play any number of time. So please see here. So the decimal range is been now converted into what? Sorry, the binary range we now converted into what? Decimal. But still it is not easy. So to make it easy, they divided this range into what? Classes. So how many classes we have? 5 classes. What are they? Class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. So this total IP address from 0 to 255, it's been divided into what? Now this total is divided into how many classes now? 5 classes. So this range, to make it simple, I'm writing only one octet. So 0 to 255 range is divided into classes. So how many classes we have? How many classes we have? 5 classes. So what are those classes are called? Those classes are called as what? Now tell me 0 to 255 is how much number? It is actually 0 plus 255 means it's 256. Total is what? 256. So now class A range is what? From 255. You divide 256 by 2. So the answer will be what? 128. So the class A range is what? 120. Means 0 to 127. I'm writing only one octet. So the class A range is what? 0 to 127. Total is what? 128. Means 0 is also included. So this is the class A range. Then class B. Again you divide 128 by 2. So how much number you will get? 64. So that will be a class B. So the class B will start from what? Next number. Next number is what? 128. How many length? What is the length? 64 bit. So it will come to what? 121 to 191. Sorry, 128 to 191. This is the class B range. Now you divide 64 by 2. What is the answer now? You will get 32 length. So now class C, class 32 length. So it will be what? 192 to 220. How much it will be like? 191, 92 to 223. So how many? 32. Then you divide 32 again by 2. Now it comes to what? 16. So what will be the length of the class D now? It will start from 224. It will start from what? 224. 16. Length is what? 16. So it will come to what? 239. And the last one, again it will be what? Class E will be again of, it will not divide it last one. Again it will be what? 16 length. So it will be what? 240. 16 means what? 255. So this is the simple way you can remember the range of the class A, class B, class C, class D and class E. So out of this, class A, class B, class C only is used in LAN and WAN. Whereas the class D is used for multicasting. And class E is reserved for research and development. So we don't use this. Class D and class E. They are reserved for what? Multicasting and research and development. So did you understood this logic? Everyone, I need to explain once more. Or did you understood? Please write it in the chat. So I said IP address IP version 4. Once again, I'm telling you, consists of 32 bit. So which is to make it easier, divided into 4 octet. Now the 4 octet is still, it's not easy to remember. So they divided the binary into what? Decimal. How to do? We discuss. So the range will be what? 0 to 255. Then to make it simple, divided that range from 0 to 255 into classes. How many classes? 5 classes. So how to remember those class A, class B, class C, class D, class E range? So the logic is what? 0 to 255 means total 256. So you divide 256 by 2, binary. So you will come, the answer is what? 128. So class A range is what? Length of 128. So that is from 0 to 127. So 0 plus 127 means it comes to 128. Then class B. So you divide 128 by 2. So it will comes to 64 length. So the class B length will be what? 64 length. So it will be from 128 to 191. Then you divide 64 by 2. It will come to 32. So the range of the class C will be 192 to 223. The range. Then the class D. Divide by 32 by 2. 16. So it will start from 224 to 239. And last also will be 16. So that will be from 240 to 255. This is how to remember class A range B, C, D, E. Out of this, class A, class B, class C is only used in LAN and WAN, whereas the D is reserved for multicasting and E is used for research and development. So same thing, what I explained will be there in the slide. You can see now. Our IP address consists of IP version 4, consists of how many bits? 32. So that has been divided into what? Octet. So how many octet it will have? 4 octet. So this 4 octet converted into what? Decimal. So in this decimal, it is divided into what? Classes. So what are those classes? Class A, Class B, Class C. These are used for LAN and WAN, whereas the D is for multicasting and E for research and development. Is it okay now? Everybody, is it okay now? My voice is okay now? Now, shall I wait or can I go to the next slide? In the next slide, you can see the range of IP address. So can I go to the next? Okay. Okay, thank you for your response, reply. Like this, please write it in the chat. Don't switch on don't unmute your mic, please. So now this is the class A range. I returned with 1 octet. This is for the 4 octet. So you remember first number. Very important. How to remember? I given you logic. Class A length will be 128. Class C 32. Class C 16 length. He also you remember like this. 256. So 128 means 0 to 127. Others are all 0, then all are what? 255. So this is the range. So if you want to note down, please note it down or take the picture or photo of that. I'll wait for this slide. Those who want to take the picture or you want to take, please take it or write it. And based on you can understand how far you are understanding or not. Okay, I'll repeat once again. So please note it down. So after this, I'll be asking some question so that I can understand how far you are understanding or not. Is it okay now? My voice is okay now? Okay. Now please tell me, shall I wait with this slide or can we go to the next slide? So I got some reply like continue. Others? Next slide. Okay, can I go to the next slide, everybody? Okay. So I'm going with the next slide now. Now, to make it simple, we can remember easily. The numbers are alphabet. Tell me, which one you can remember easily? The alphabets are numbers. Write in the chat. Alphabets are number. I got one answer. Number. Everybody think number is easy to remember? Alphabets, yes. Like example, in your mobile, you have saved some numbers. Can you easily recollect whose number is what? No, but can you recollect whose number you have saved or not with the name? Yes, because our mind is tuned to what? More easily we can remember alphabet because we talk mostly through what? Alphabets. We use less numerical numbers in our usage. So that's why our brain is tuned to remember easily alphabets instead of numbers. So to make it now, compared to the 32 bits, zeros and ones, Now it is a little bit easier, no, decimal range, but still they want to make it more simple. So for that purpose, they came up with what? Alphabets. So now the class A will be focusing on how many class? Class A, class B, class C, because we'll be working with this. So now class A can be represented in the form of alphabets as what? Network bits and host bit. I repeat, class A can be class A, B, C can be represented in the form of what? For easy understanding purpose, in the form of what? Alphabets through network bits and host bit. So if you want to understand the IP addressing, you need to understand this network bits and host bit. So I repeat one more time. So here network bit indicate what? The IP address belong to which? The network bit indicate the device is having IP address belonging to which network, and the host bit indicate what is the IP address of the device. I repeat once again, network bit indicate the network of the IP address or that device having the IP address belonging to which network, and host bit indicate what is the IP address, actual IP address of the device. So network bit indicate what? Network, and host bit indicate IP address of the device. So in class A, how many networks you have? In class A, how many networks you have? One network, 3 hosts. Whereas in class B, 2 network, 2 host. Class C, 3 network, 1 host. Network bits are increasing, host bits are reducing. Remember the logic. So we understand the IP address by seeing the IP address. The IP address belong to which class? First you have to identify. And what is the IP address of that machine? So that we can understand with the help of what? First, we should know how many host bit and how many network bits will be there in the class. So the class can be identified by seeing the first bit, first number. Then after that, we should know that IP belong to which class. Based on that, we should know that class is having how many network bits and how many host bit, because the network bit shows you what? The network of the device, or the device is belong to which network, and the host bit indicate what is the IP of that device or that machine. So please note it down. Class A, it is standard. Class A will have 1 network, 3 hosts. Class B, 2 network, 2 hosts. Class C, 3 network, 1 host. Okay, fine. So now we understand the network and the host with the help of this, but the machine never understand that. So to make machine understand the machine is having IP address belonging to which class or which network it is having, but that we will use what? Subnetting. Sorry, subnet mask. Have you heard about the subnet mask? So machine understand they belong to which network with the help of what? Subnet mask. By seeing the number we can understand, but machine never understand they belong to which network with the help of the host bit or network bit. So they understand they belong to which network with the help of what? Subnet mask. As a human being, we can understand that IP belong to which network or what is the host IP by seeing the network and host bit. But machine never understand it itself with the help of network bit and host bit. So the machine understand it belongs to which network, and with the help of a mechanism, that mechanism you can call it as what? Subnet mask. So we'll now discuss what is meant by subnet mask. So to calculate the subnet mask, please remember the rule or the logic. So if you want to calculate the subnet mask, the rule says network bit should be 1, host bit should be 0. So now tell me, in 1 octet, if network bits are all 1 means what is the maximum number? Just now I shown you 255. Host bit is 0 means all 0. So class A subnet mask will be what? 255.0.0.0. For class B, what will be the subnet mask? All network bits are 1 means 255. So 255.255.0.0 will be the subnet mask for class B. For class C, 3 networks bit means all network bits are 1, host bits are 0. So 255.255.255.0 will be the subnet mask for class C. So using this subnet mask, the machine understands they belong to which network. Understood? So now, to make you understand in a simple way, I'll take some examples. After that, I hope you will become, it will become simple for you. So let me take some example now. Now, let me take some example now. Now tell me, class A, class A, range is what? 0 to, I'm writing only one octet. Remember, 0 to 127. So what will be the subnet mask for this? Or how it is represented? Network bits are 1, host bits are 3. So what will be the subnet mask for this? So machine understand they belong to which network with the help of subnet mask. They will not understand network and host bit. We understand easily network and host bit. Machine understand with the help of subnet mask. So for class A, what will be the subnet mask? So subnet mask for class A. What is the rule says for subnet mask? Network bit should be 1. Host bit should be 0 for calculating the subnet mask. This is the rule. So if it is all 1, means network bits are how many in class A? 1. Host bits are what? 3. So these are octet. So each octet contain what? 8 bits. So if it is all 1, then it is all zeros. So what will be the subnet mask now? All ones means what? Just now we discussed. It will be what? 255.0.0.0. This is the subnet mask for class A, remember. Whereas the class B range is what? 128 to 191. So in that case, what will be the subnet mask? What is the range for them? Network bits are how many? 2. And what is the how many host bit? 2 network bit, 2 host bit. So what will be the subnet mask for this? Network bits 1, host bit 0. So 255.255.0.0. Whereas for class C, the range will be what? 192 to 223. So this will have how many network bits? 3 network bits and 1 host bit. So what will be the subnet mask for this? Please tell me. Write it in the chat box when I'm telling, please tell me means. So it will be what? 255, 255, 255.0. Understood? Understood? Okay, fine. Now let me, for D and E, we don't have to bother. For D it will be what? All 255. Yes. So we will work only on class A, class B and class C, either on LAN or WAN. E is for defense and, research and development. Now let us talk about the how to identify class and their network and their host. Yes, there is no subnet mask. Now let us see with some example how far you have understood. So don't think in a negative way. Sir is asking so many questions. It is just my intention is what? Just to know whether you are understanding or not. So if your answers are not correct, you will not get any punishment. And same way, if your answers are right, you don't expect any prizes or gift. So just to make sure that how far you are understanding, I'll just asking you few questions, simple questions, just to understand by myself whether you followed or not. So I'm taking how many machines here? 2. Like this, you can have any number of machines. So 2 machines means I have connected directly to them with the help of the cable. Physical connectivity. Now, can they communicate with each other? Please write it. No, don't say by unmuting the mic. Please use this. Who is not able to hear my voice? All are able to not hear my voice? No voice. I'm saying I'm getting the reply. Somebody can able to hear. I'll just check. See, it's there. The audio signal is there for me. So I'll repeat once again. Can you able to hear me? Can you able to hear me? Yes. What about the person who written not able to hear me? Please, can you able to hear me? All of you. So shall I continue? Okay, I'm continuing. So now I connected like this. So whether these 2 machines, this machine I'm calling it was system 1, this is a system 2. Now connected physically. Now will they communicate with each other? Whether they will communicate with each other? No. Yes, very nice. Because there is no logical connectivity. Now on this LAN card, I have given some IP address. Suppose this is the IP address. Now tell me, first of all, you tell me, this belong to which class? This IP address belong to which class? Sorry, please write it in the chat. Don't tell me. Which class this IP address belong? I got one answers. Yes, I'm getting now answers. Yes, nice. So this is belong to class A. So now my next question is, they will communicate, these 2 machines, system 1 and system 2 will communicate or they will not communicate? So please write it yes or no. That's it. In the chat you write it. They will communicate or not? Anybody think yes? So I'm getting more reply as what? No. Anybody think yes? One person is saying yes. So you see, once again, somebody has unmute their mics. Please don't do that. Till now the session was good. Please, for your sake only, don't do that. Session will get disturbed. Now, yes, what you are saying is absolutely correct. 2 different machine should not have same IP. If 2 different machine have same IP mean conflict. How to remember easily means, suppose in my family, we are 2 brothers. Suppose my parent kept my name and my brother name same. Then what happens? Confusion. To whom they are calling? Can they able to understand? Can we understand whom they are calling? So you remember this is the first rule. Father name cannot be same. I'm just taking. Okay. So if everybody name is same in the family means there will be only confusions. So that's why you remember the rule. 2 different machines should never have same IP address. So, yes. Now let me say like this. Now this machine IP address is now this. Now this machine IP address is what? Instead of 1, I make it 2. Now will they communicate or not? My question is same. Now they will communicate? Yes. Why? Because 2 different machine. Network should be same. The rule says what? For communication, network should be same. But host should be different. So in class A, how many networks are there? 1. And how many hosts? 3 hosts. So if somebody asks, this IP belong to which class means class A. But it belong to which network means what you will say? 10 dot network. And what is the host IP? For this machine 1 and for this machine 2, that is the host IP. So for communication, remember the rule, network bit should be same, but host bit should be different. Then only they will communicate. If it is 1 means host bit are same, network bit same means will they communicate? No, conflict will take place. This is the rule for communication. So I hope you understood this example. Everybody? Yes? Now, if you understood this, let me ask you the second example now. Now, this is the now this is the IP address of one machine. This is the IP address of second machine. Now you tell me, these first of all belong to which class? This IP, both IP belong to which class? Yes, nice. Class A. Because whenever somebody is asking the class, you just see the first number, only see the first number. But when they are asking this IP belong to which network, then you see class A. You said what? Class A. Class A contain how many network bits? Only one. How many host bit? This. Now you tell me, what is the network of this? This belong to which network? The network of this first machine. Yes. 10 dot. How it is 10 dot? I'm not using 10 dot. Forget the first example. Second example. 11 dot. This is my IP. So what is the network of this now? 11 dot. So will they communicate? No, it is class A, not B. Class B means the first number will be what? More than 127. It will be between 128 to 191. Then that is a class B. It is less than 128. So it is a class B. Yes. So now tell me, this is class A only. So what is the network if somebody asks for this example? What your answer will be? What is the network of these two machines? What is the network of this? First tell me network. Yes, 11 dot. And what is the host of this machine? 0 dot 1 dot 1 because 3 hosts. Here what is the host? 0 dot 2 dot 3. So now tell me, will they communicate or they will not communicate? Yes or no? I got one answer saying yes. What about others? Others also saying yes. So yes or no? Yes. Somebody says, Vijay Ashwin says no. So why the it is no? It is yes. Why? You see here. For communication, host bit should be different. So here the host bits are different. Network is same. So they will communicate. So did you understood, Vijay Ashwin? It will communicate because the rule says for communication, network should be same. Host bit should be different. That is the same answer. So did you understood now? No. How many hosts are there in class A? You see here. 3. So 3 can be different IPs or same. It should not be same. It should be different. So either it can be 1 different or 2 different or 3 different. So did you understood this? So I repeat once again. In class A, how many hosts are there? 3. So here what is the IP? 11, 11 means this is network. You understood that? But host are what? 0 dot 1, 0 dot 1. This is the host IP address. Because in class C, how many hosts are there? 3. And here last 3 is what? The host, because this is also class A. So here host IP is what? 0 dot 1 dot 1. This is 0 dot 2 dot 3. So they are different or same. Host bit should be different. Network should be same. But host should be different. Then only they will communicate. Now some person is asking, if the network is different, will they communicate? No. If networks are different, they don't communicate either with cable or with switch. At that time, you need to use one special device called router. What you need? If you want to communicate between two different networks, like here, if I've taken this as a 14, this as 11, 11.0.1, and this is the IP. Now, will they communicate? No, unless until you use router in your network. Without router, they will not communicate. So if it is a different network, it will not communicate unless until you use the router. But in our LAN, that is through the MCSE course, we are not discussing the router. In CCNA, you will discuss how to communicate in different network with router. Understood? So can I go to the next example? Okay. So I'm taking next example so that everybody or maximum people should understand. So that's why I'm taking few more example. So now same, I have two machines. Same logic will apply if you have 100 machine also. If more than two machines are there means it will be connected through switch. For simplicity, I'm taking two IPs and two machines. So this is my system 1, this is my system 2, and this is my cable, and this is my IP address. Now, first of all, you tell me this belong to which class? First, you tell me about the class. This IP address belong to which class? I got an answer, yes. It's correct, very nice. It belong to class B because the class B range is what? When your first number is between 128 to 191. First number always you see for class. Then, next question is whether these two machines will communicate with each other or not. Next question is what? Whether they will communicate or not. So I already got two answers saying yes. Most of the people saying yes. If anybody thinks so, no. Somebody saying no also. Now the confusion is there. Some people are yes, some people are no. So which is the correct answer? Yes or no? Answer is, let me explain to you. So first, you remember class B contain how many networks? Class B contain how many network? Two network, two host. So first you have to see which class. So you are able to identify the class. Very nice. But the problem is this is class B. Class B contain how many networks? Two networks. And how many hosts? Two hosts. So see here. So they belong to same network or different network. You only try to understand by yourself. Now tell me whether they will communicate or not. Now did you understood? They will communicate or they will not communicate? Still somebody saying yes, they will communicate. No, they will not communicate. Because in class B, how many networks you have to compare? Two network. First network is same. But in class A, only one network is there. But in class B, how many networks are there? Two network. First number is same, but you have to see the second number also because class B contain two network. So here, second network in system 1 is 16. But here it is what? 17. So both are same or different? Different. So they are different network. The host is different, but the network should be same. So it will not communicate without router. We are not discussing router. So whether these two machines communicate? No. They will communicate or not? Now tell me whether they will communicate or not. No. Now did you understood? Yes. So let me ask you one more example now so that I can understand whether you are following or not. Now my IP address is what? This is one IP. Now consider this IP 188. Now tell me this belong to which class? First of all, you tell me class. First tell me the class. Yes, nice. Class B, no doubt. Now tell me they will communicate or not? Most of the people are saying no. Anybody think yes? So it means you have understood. So here you see the logic. First one network, second net also is network. So you see here, they belong to two different network. The host should be different, but here networks are different. So two different network means they will not communicate. Very nice. So did you understood now? So let me check last time how many of you are following or not with one more example. Because these are very important. That's why I'm asking you. Don't think in another way. Sir is asking so many questions like. So let me ask you one more time. Now, this is system 1, this is system 2. They are directly connected via cable. Physical connectivity is there. Now the logical connectivity. Now this is the IP. First, I want this belong to which class? Yes, very nice. So most of you understood that how to see the class. Always see the class by first number. So they belong to what? Class C. Yes, nice. Now tell me, can they communicate or they will not communicate? So I got one answer, yes, communication is there, but some people is still writing no. No. Now I'm confused. Which answer is correct? Yes or no? They will communicate or they will not communicate. So still, it means everybody answer is not same. Like when I'm asking you, they belong to which class, you are saying one answer. So it means that you understood. But still there is some confusion. Now I got few people saying yes, few people saying no. So please see here. So first of all, you tell me class C. Is there or not? Yes. Then how many networks are there in class C? 3 network, 1 host. Now you compare it. Now you tell me your answers now. Once again, I'm asking you. Now, will they communicate or not? Most of the people saying no. Anybody think yes? Now it means you are following now. So it will not communicate. Why? You in class you have to see not 2 numbers, 3 numbers, because there are 3 networks. Yes, rule should be kept in your mind. So you have to compare for class C how many bits? First 3 bits for network. So now these are first 2 are network same, but you have to see here the third one. It is 3 and it is here 4. So it means what? It means what? They belong to same network or different network? They belong same network or different network. So can they communicate? Now did you understood? So for class A, you have to compare only one number because only one network. For class B, how many numbers you have to compare? First 2 numbers because 2 are network. First 2 are network. In class 3, you have to compare 3 numbers. Because in class 3, how many numbers will be there? 3. So how this machine understand they belong to same network or different network with the help of subnet mask? So they'll understand that this is the subnet mask. So now they knows that they belong to which network. So here they will compare. How many here? 3 numbers they'll compare. So here it will see my first number is same, my second number is same, but my third number is here and here is different. So they will not communicate. So they'll understand now my networks are different. So they'll compare here how many numbers? 3 numbers. First 3 numbers. With this, the meaning is that they leave the last number. So here now the hosts are same, but they are 2 different networks. So unless until you use one router, they will not communicate. So did you understood now, everybody? Now let me ask you one more IP address now. 192.168. Now this is the one machine IP address. Now tell me, these 2 machines are having this IP now. Instead of this IP is there. The The last IP which I have written. Now will they communicate or not? Tell me. This is 172, this is 170. Now tell me whether they will communicate or not. Yes, there will be no communication. Why? Here it will check what? 3 bits. The first bit is same, second bit is same, but the third bit is different. So they belong to two different networks. So they'll see router is no. So they'll not communicate. So did you understood now? So for communication, what is the rule? They should belong to same network and the host bit should be different. Then only they will communicate without router. If router is there, if they belong to different network also, it will communicate. But router has to be configured. Okay, clear about this? Okay. Okay. So now let us come back to our slide now. So now we have discussed from beginning. I'm just revising. So IP address can be assigned by two methods, static and dynamic. We are discussing what? How to assign static. So for that, how many versions of IP address schemes are there? 2. But we are working on IP version 4, which is about how much length? 32 bits. So that has been divided into 4 octets. Those octets have been divided into decimal number, that is 0 to 255. To make it simple, it has been divided into what? Classes. So class A, class B, class C can be used for LAN and WAN, whereas D for multicasting and E for research. So we'll concentrate on first 3, A, B, C. So A class range is what? 0 to 127. Class B is 128 to 191. Class D 190. Sorry, class C 190 to 223. Class D 224 to 39. Class E 240 to 255. So how we will understand the IP address is having uh, belong to which network and which host? So we have to see based on the class, then network bits and host bit. So network is identified with the help of network bit and the machine IP address is identified with the help of host bit. Network is identified by network bits with the help of network bit. Host IP means machine IP or device IP is understood with the help of host bit. Host bit indicate IP address of the device. Network bit indicate the network of that device. It belongs to which network? Clear? I repeat once again. Network bit indicate that device is belong to or having the IP address belonging to which network. Host bit indicate what is the IP of that device. Network bit indicate the network of the device. It belong to which network. Network bit indicate the device is having the or belonging to which network, and host bit indicate what is the IP of that device. Are you clear now or shall I repeat? Network bit indicate the network, host bit indicate IP. Okay. So class A will have how many networks? Class A will have how many network? One network, 3 hosts. Class B, two network, 2 host. Class C, 3 network, 1 host. So host bit is used for IP address. Network bit is used for network. I repeat, network bit is used for network. Host bit is used for IP address. Now my question is, in which scenario you will use class A IP address, in which scenario you will use class B IP address, and in which scenario you will use class A network. So I'll give one example so that you can understand. So let me take one example. Which scenario will use which class of IP address? Now, please be clear about this. Class A Class A contain how many network bits? 1 network bits. How many host bit? 3 host bit. What will be the subnet mask for this? Subnet mask rules. Network bit should be 1. Host bit should be 0. For class B, how many networks are there? 2 networks, 2 hosts. So what will be the subnet mask? 255, 255.0.0. Class C, 3 networks, 1 host. So it is mean what? 255, 255 dot 255.0. Now my question is, in which scenario you will use which class IP? So to understand that, let me take one simple example. So network bit indicate what? Network bit indicate network. It belong to which network? And host bit indicate IP. Now, say suppose in class C, I'm taking first class C. How many hosts are there? Only 1 host. 1 host means octet, 1 octet. So 1 octet contain how many bits? 8 bits. So 8 bit means only 1 host. 1 host contain 1 octet. 1 octet means 8 bit. So what will be the answer for this now? So 2 all host bits will be what? How many? All ones means what? 0 to 255. So total 0 to 255 means 256. So how many IPs we can assign in class C? How many IPs we can assign in class B? How many IPs we can assign in the class C? Only 1 host, so 256. So out of this 256, how many IPs we will not use? 2 IPs will not use. So total how many IPs we can use? 254. Why 2 IPs we cannot use? These 2 IPs are what? First IP. We will, in all the network, we will never use first IP and last IP. Why first IP and last IP cannot be used? First IP is used for identification of the network. That is called network bit. And the last IP is used for what? Broadcast. So what will be the last IP always? 0 to 255 means. So first number is what? 0. Last number is what? This is the first number. And last number is what? Not 256. Last number is what? 255. So in any network, we will not use first IP and last IP. So now you tell me total how many IPs we can assign? In class C, only 254. So if my network is having like less than 254 machine, then I'll go for class C IP. If somebody asks you in class A or class B or in class C, how many IPs you can assign? So what your answer? So IP address is assigned with the help of host bit. So in class C, how many IPs you can assign? Maximum 254, not more than 254. Because how many hosts are there in class C? Only 1 host. 1 host means 8 bit. 8 bit means maximum. All ones means also 255. So 0 to 255 means total 256. So in that, 2 IPs you cannot use, first and last. So because first IP is for network ID, last IP is for broadcast. So total how many IPs we can assign or use in the class C? 254. So now say suppose I'm having in my company about 200 machine. The company said assign the IP address. Now which class IP address you will assign? Class A, class B or class C for 200 machines? Please write in the chat. Yes, 200 means it is less than 254 means always go for class C. Now my company where I am working, they have now 300 machines. How many machines they have now? 300 machines. So now which class IP I'll use for 300 machine? Can I use the class C? No. We'll go for class B. So what is the rule? How many IPs you can assign means? How many IPs you can assign means what is the rule? So I'll write the rule. So to how to remember how many IPs we can assign, but that the rule says how many IPs you can assign. How many IP you can assign. So that depends on the rule. That rule says what? 2 to the power of n minus 2. That is the answer. That is the logic. Now let us see here for class A. How many IPs I can assign? So you have to say for IP address always consider only the host bit. For IP address always consider the host bit, never the network bit. So in class A, how many networks are there? Only one network. How many host bits are there? 3. So how many IPs we can assign? Here 3 are host. IP address is assigned using the host bit. So what will be the answer? 2 to the power of 24 minus 2. That is a very huge number. Something like 65,535, something like that. Whereas the class B contain how many networks? 2 networks, 2 hosts. So how many IPs we can assign in class B? 2 hosts means each bit contain 8. 8 2s are 16. So 2 to the power of 16 minus 2. That is the IPs we can assign. Whereas in the class C, how many IPs we can assign? How many networks are there? Only 1. So 2 to the power of 8 minus 2. So the answer is what? 254. So if the machines are less than 254, go for A. If the machines are greater than 254, then use the class B. Some number will come up to this. Then if they are in thousands, like 10,000, something like this above, then you go for class A. So these are the things you have to remember. So did you understood now? In which scenario, which class IP address is used? Yes? Okay. Now the last thing before we go for the practical. Then again, each class is having 2 types of IP address. Again, so IP address is divided into what? Classes. Classes again divided into network and host bit. Again, this is divided finally into what? Private IP and public IP. So what is the class A range? Class A range 0 to 127. Class B 128 to 191. Class C 192 to 223. Class D 224 to 239. Class E 242 to 55. Now you see here private and public IP. So the private IP is what? For class A only 10 dot 10.0.0.2 10.255 255 255. That is the private IP. Then class B only one range, that is out of 128 to 191, only 172 dot. So 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255. This is class B. Class C 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.255.255. So these are the private IPs in this class. So except this IP, all other IPs are what? Public IP. Except this, all IPs are what? Public IP. So what is the difference between private IP and public IP? Tell me. What is the difference between private IP and public IP? Tell me. So the difference is what? Private IP will be generally used. Private IP generally will be used in our private network, and in public network, public IP has to be used. But somebody written very nicely, very correctly. Public IP is not free. Public IP need to be purchased from ISP. Private IP we don't have to buy. Remember, you are saying opposite, Sai Teja. Public IP need to be purchased or buy, but whereas the private IP is free. So if you are using private IP in your network, then others cannot access you from other place. Only within your private network only people can access on the on the private IP. As the name indicate, private IP means you can access within your private network or in your own network or in your local network. But if you want your information which you have posted through our website should be accessed by anybody from anywhere, means your website should be hosted on public IP or private IP. Website. So any company who's hosting their website, so they want everybody to access or only few people to access everybody. So your website should be hosted on public IP or private IP. Public IP. So public IP is not free, but what is the advantage with public IP? That you need to purchase from the ISP. So once you take the public IP, anybody across the world can access through the public IP. Public IP to public IP communication always takes place through the internet. Internet works on public IP. So the public IP may be from different classes, maybe from different network. Still they will communicate because the ISP will maintain the communication from their end. We don't have to do anything. As the name indicate, public IP means need to be purchased, and public to public always will be communicating. They belong to any class, any network. They will communicate with the help of what? ISP, which will be maintaining the routers. So if you want your network to be accessed by others, means your network should be working on public IP. If you want your network to be accessed within your company or within your network only, not outside people, then you should use private IP. But this is the rule. But say suppose I am working in a lab or in a private network, I can assign any IP, private or public. But that will work within our network, not outside the network. This is the rule. So private IP is free, public IP need to be purchased. Yes, ISP full form, Internet Service Provider. So are you clear with this now? Yes, everybody is clear with this? Or any doubt? So if any specific doubt is there, please ask me. Okay, if you are clear with this concept, can I go for the practical, today's practical? So we have done with what? Generally, if you want your company data to be accessed only by your employees, means you will work with the private IP. But if you want your branches is there, you want the data of this should be accessed by other people or by the other branch people, then it should be working on a public IP. But public IP will be need to be purchased. Private IP is free. So some people are asking how about the practical. So today we'll do the practical. Everyday practical will be there. I'll check somebody mic is on. Even after requesting people, please understand, no. I didn't find anybody mic. Okay, thank you. So now we will do the practical. So did you understood about the IP addressing? So now our practical will be there. Our tomorrow session will be about topology. Tomorrow session will be about topology. Now we will discuss what? The practical. Now to make you understand the practical easy, I have written the practical step in the notepad file. I'll be sharing you once we will get the confirmation, because few days will be our session will be demo. Once they finalize from whom they receive the full payment, they'll again reset the password. After that, I'll be sharing with you what the practical step 5 soft copy that will be very easy for you to do the practical. So still we did not get the confirmation. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, once we get, I'll share you. So today you'll just see the notepad file and you can do the practical. Today practical is very simple, very easy. So first I need to open my machine which I installed to the VMware. So I'm opening that. So yesterday I installed which machine? This 2012. So how do you switch on this? Just go to that machine, power on. So first today I'll show you how to log in. So once the installation is completed, you have to press what? Alt Control Insert on VM machine. Whereas in the physical machine, Alt Control Delete. So now I'm trying to log in with with the administrator. What was the password I said? Like Zoom_123. I can even check here. So this is how you will log in. Now this is your desktop. On the desktop, certain icons are there. So first, I'll show you how to assign the IP address. How to assign IP address. So which type of IP address we are discussing? Static or dynamic? Static. Yes, static IP address. So to assign the static IP, we have to go to what? Network icon. Here you go to the select the network icon, right click, then go to the properties. So if you are using the VM, your LAN card will be might be, then go to which one? I'll repeat once again. How to give the IP address? Go to the, if suppose, I'll show you by default in 2012, it will be like this. Just give me a minute. So once you log in, you will get only one icon in 2012, that is recycle bin. So you will not get the other icons. So how to get the icons? First, I'll show you that. Once you log in first time with any new user in 2012, you will get only default only one icon, that is recycle bin. You will not get the other icons like my computer or control panel, Internet Explorer, all those. How to get it? So I repeat once again, press what? Go to the search or press Windows key. Then here you type it in the search what? Icons. What you have to write? Icons. Then click on setting. I repeat. First go to the search. Then type it what? Icons. Then you will get the settings. So click on settings. Then you go to the second option. What is the second option? Show or hide common icons. So now whatever icons you need, you just check the box. So previously only one icon will be was there. Now how many icons will appear? So this is how you will get the icons. And when you install, sometime you may not get a full screen. So how to get a full screen? Just select this and go to the right click and screen resolution. So here you can change as per your screen size. You can change these numbers. After checking, you just say what? Okay. This is how you will get the full screen. So first thing I shown you how to get the icon. Second thing I'm showing, if your screen is not full, how to do? Right click on the desktop, go to the screen resolution. Based on your size of the screen, you just go with this number. Second option, resolution. So just check one by one which number is suitable for you. Next, two things we have done, basic. Now my next requirement is how to assign the IP address. So to assign the IP address, we can use here what? Network, right click, then go to where? Right click and then go to where? Properties. Then here change adapter setting. So initially your LAN card might be disabled. So if it is disabled, how do you go? go to your operating system. Then right click, go to the setting. Go to the setting. Then inside this, it will be what? Network adapter. So by default, it will be something like this NAT. So select, if you are working through the VMware, select what? Customized. Customize specific virtual network. In that, you have so many numbers. You select here some number, any number, 0, 1, 2, anything. Like I have selected VMNet 2. So now your network will appear. Otherwise, here cross mark will be there. So if you are getting the cross mark, what to do? Just go to your OS. Once again, I'm telling, right click, then go to the setting. Then go to the network adapter. Select here what? Custom specific virtual network. Open this. Then you go with this. One of the machine. Then say what? Okay. So your LAN card cross mark will be gone. Now how to assign the IP address? Right, select this icon, right click, properties. Then we are assigning IP version 4 or 6? 4. So you select here 4, then properties. So by default, it will be like this. Obtain the IP address automatically, means to take the IP address from the DHCP, but still we did not configure the DHCP. So we'll select here what? Use the following IP. Then give the IP address, like I'm giving for easy understanding and simple number 10.0.0.1. So this is belong to which class? Class A. So what will be the subnet mask for this? Just press the tab, automatically it will take. Then default gateway means what? Whose IP address? Router IP address. Any router we are using in our network right now? No. So I'm leaving that. Go to the next, preferred DNS. Means any DNS server we have configured? No. So I'm leaving that. What is the use of the DNS? I already told you some resolves name into IP address. So we have a service how to configure that, we'll see. Then go to the OK, then close. Just refresh here, disable and enable. Now what IP I have given 10.1. So that you can see by going to the command prompt. So how do you check your IP address? After giving the IP address, go to the command prompt. Windows R, command prompt, CMD, enter. Then check the IP address by the command IP config. What is the command we'll use in Windows to check the IP address? IP config. Now can you see here my IP version 4 address 10.0.0.1 with subnet mask this. Clear? So if you want to give the IP address, there is one more option with the keyboard. You go to the run. Type it what? CP LA dot one second, just I'm checking it. There is one shortcut key. The shortcut key is what? NCPA dot CPL. So directly you'll go to the network. So this is, if you want, you just remember it. We can go directly from the network, right click properties, then change adapter setting. Instead of this, we can use one shortcut key. That shortcut key is what? Go to the run by pressing what? Windows R. Then use what? NCPA.cpl. So this is the way we can assign the IP address. So how many things we have discussed now? Two things: how to get the icons and how to give the IP address. Now the third thing for today, how to create a user. So which user will be creating? Local user. Local user means what? The user which is created in which machine? That machine only it will log in. Here I have a notepad here. So to copy from physical machine to what? Our VM machine. We have to install VM tools. How to install the VM tool I have given. So VM tool should be power on. Then in that, click on what? VM menu bar. Then VM tools. Then press Window E to go to the C drive. Then go to the VM machine. Double click on that and install the VM tools. Next, how to give the NIC card name. How to give the NIC card name. So for that, what I'll do, I written here, go to the power off, go to the edit option, VM, network adapter, custom, like I've shown you. Okay, is it clear to you, everybody? Now, next thing. Now, we'll see how to create a local user. What is our next task? How to create a local user. So local user means in which machine I created account, in that machine the user can log in. So to create the local user, I have two options. Both the option I'll show you. In the search, you go and write it what? Computer management. So you'll go to where local user and group. You can see that. Or instead of this, you can also open the run command. There you can type what? LUSR mgr.msc. It is not one, it is L. Here LUSR stands for local user manager. .msc means Microsoft console. So from that also you can create a user. So you can create any user with any password. But you remember in Windows, by default, the password length required is minimum 7 characters. You can give more than 7, but not less than 7. And the password is complex, means your password should contain in the 7 characters 3 things. It should have alphabets, numerical number, and at least one special character. This is what called password complexity. How to get the, now this is the way to create a local user. So shall I show you how to create a local user? Yes, can I show you the practical to create the local user? Okay, fine. I'm going to my machine. Who can create the user? Only administrator. So which user I logged in, you can see administrator. So how to create a local user? First go to the search by using the Windows key. Then type it what? Computer. So you got computer management. Click on that. Now you got here what? Local users and group. From there you can select users, right click and new user. This is one method of creating the user. Another method is what? I can go to the run and type it what? And type it what? LUSR local user mgr manager dot msc. So directly will go there. See here. Now I'll create a user. Select, right click, new user. With any name you create a user. I created one user. And any password of your choice, but it should be minimum 7 character. Then here, if I say like this here, create means what happens? Once the user log in, compulsory has to change his password. If I uncheck this box, and if I check this box means what? The user cannot change the password. If you want also, you cannot change the password. If I uncheck and check this, then by default in Windows, what is the password age? 42 days. So if I keep this and the user has changed the password, means after 42 days, again, the password will be expired. So before 42 days, the user has to change the password. But if I kept this this option, the user cannot change the password. whatever password admin has given, he has to use this. If I uncheck this and check this, then the user cannot change the password. Same password what admin has given, he has to use. But if I check this, what is the default age? 42 days. So whatever password admin is given will never expire. After 42 days also same password he can use. And if you check this box, means the account will be disabled. The user cannot log in. So I'm not keeping any option. I uncheck it and I press at what? Create. So user has been created. So user has been created. So how can I check now? So log out from this administrator. How to log out? Press Alt Control Delete in physical machine. In virtual machine, Alt Control Insert. Then you have the option of what? Sign out. Now Alt Control Delete in physical machine. Alt Control Insert in this. Now I created one user. What? This user. So now I can log in with that user. What is the password I given? I can see here. Now press enter. So once a user log in, new user first time, he will get only one icon. Like he's getting only one icon. How to get the other icons? Again, I'm repeating. Go to the search. Type it what? Icons. Then go to the settings. Then go to the third option. Sorry, second option and check the box. Whichever you require, check that icon boxes. Now say what? Apply. Okay. We'll get it. So now which user is logged in? Krishna. How to give the IP address? The user cannot give. Only admin can give. So is it clear to everybody? Is it okay, everybody? How to get the icon? Give the icons. How to assign the IP address and how to create a local user. So our last thing for today is what? In 2000, here also I given every steps. Our last practical for today is what? In 2012, we have one very good option. In 2012, we have very good option. That option is what? We can convert our OS, which is we have installed in server core or server GUI yesterday. Server GUI. Server core means it will work only in text mode. CLI means what? Command line interface. So we can convert in 2012. This feature was not there in 2008. So from 12, we can convert our OS from the graphical to text and from text to graphical. So why they have given this option means in the text mode, the resources will be used less and it will be very secure, means virus cannot enter when you work with the text, and the performance will be very good, means whatever task you execute with the command, it will be done immediately, faster. These are the advantages with the CLI mode. But disadvantage is what? In CLI, you will not get any graphical interface. You have to do everything with what? Command. And some application may not be supported. So they given the option. Again, you can convert it back whenever you want your CLI mode to GUI. Again, we can convert from CLI to GUI. Then again, we can have those tools or those commands graphically. So this is the command. So between these, only one difference is there. So my OS is already installed in GUI. So first I'll show you how to convert from GUI to CLI. So the command is what? Uninstall -Windows. It is Windows, remember. Feature space server -GUI -MGMT means management -infra. GUI full form graphical user interface server -GUI -shell. You remember after infra comma is there, space -restart. So it will be changed into what? CLI mode. So CLI mode, and remember this command we have to execute from PowerShell. This will not be working from command prompt. So once you go to the text mode, it will go to the CMD, means command prompt. So from command prompt, you need to go to the PowerShell by typing what? PowerShell. Then from the PowerShell, instead of saying uninstall, use what word? Install. Remaining same thing is same. Install -Windows feature space server -GUI -MGMT -infra comma server -GUI -shell -restart. So this is the way we can see what is PowerShell means. It is something like a console, something like when you want to execute some command, you have command prompt. Same way, when you want to execute some command which is having the scripting written by the vendor. So those will be called as what? Which allow the script to be executed. So that is what called PowerShell. So this is a script which will be supported by the PowerShell. So we have default one console present in 2012. So we need to open that PowerShell. So can I begin with the practical? So have you noted down this practical step? You take just a picture from your mobile. So I'll put it once again. Starting. So today, whatever practical I shown you, you can see. I return the heading. Just give me a second from here. If you write, it will take more time. Just from your mobile, you take a picture at the snapshot. Done, everybody? Can I go to the next page? Anyhow, I'll be sharing this file after 1 or 2 days. Yes, can I go to the next page, everybody? Okay. Now, next is what? I just now shown you how to. I did not return how to assign the IP address because I think everybody knows. If you want, again, I can show you. Again, in coming day session, I'll be doing this. This is how to create a local user. Just now I've shown you. And how to get the icons also I shown you. Take a picture of this. Yes, done. Can I go to the last page for today? Last thing for today. And tomorrow we'll be continuing our session with what? Topology. Topology means how to design our network. Now you know what is meant by network. What are the requirements to design the network? So using this, we'll design the network tomorrow. That is called topology. Yes. Shall I begin with the practical now? Are you done with this, everybody? Okay. Now let me show you the practical. So now I'll open my machine. So this command cannot be executed by user. So I need to log in with which user? Administrator. So how to log out? Press Alt Control Insert. Press Alt Control Insert in physical in VM machine. In physical machine, Alt Control Delete. Now I need to log in with what? Administrator here. What is the password I set? _123. Now you will get one console default that is called Server Manager console. Here, or you close that console here. Just keep the cursor, it will show the name. So first one is what? On the taskbar, first one is Server Manager console. Second one is what? PowerShell, Windows PowerShell. So today, for converting our OS from the GUI to CLI, we need to open this PowerShell. Just click on that, you got a power. Now, this is my graphical OS or the text OS. graphical. So I need to convert into CLI. So what is the command I have to use? Uninstall. What is the command? Uninstall hyphen Windows. It is Windows, remember. Feature. Spelling should be correct. Then space. Then server hyphen GUI hyphen MGMT hyphen infra comma space server hyphen GUI hyphen shell space hyphen restart. So if you make any mistake, red mark will come. If your command is correct, it will be green and it will be executed. Now see here. Now it will be converting back my OS completely from the graphical to text. So almost it is done, 91% over. See here. Now my OS is changed into completely into text mode. See here. Now I got to the command prompt. From command prompt, I cannot convert again it back to the GUI. So what should I do? First go to the PowerShell. How do you go? Just type it what? PowerShell. Now you'll be going to the PowerShell. Can you see here? PS stands for what? PowerShell. Now you are in the PowerShell. Now just write in place of uninstall. You write what? Install hyphen Windows feature space hyphen server hyphen UI hyphen MGMT hyphen infra comma space then again server hyphen UI hyphen shell space hyphen restart. It is converting back to the GUI. So it will take some time again to get converted back into the GUI. Almost is there. So what we have discussed today in our session today, we discussed about the IP address version 4, like how many bit is there, how it is been converted from the bit to the decimal, decimal to the classes, then from the classes to what network and host bit. We discussed how to identify network, class, and what is the rule. We discussed some easy practical like how to log in, after login, how to get the basic icons, then how to assign the IP address. We also discuss how to create a local user. And finally, we discuss today what? How to change our OS from GUI to CLI and CLI to GUI. This is what about today's session. So tomorrow we are going to discuss what? Topology. Topology means designing of our network. So just give me a few minutes. It will come back to the graphical. Administrator. So that's it for today. This is about today's session. So tomorrow we are going topologies. So those people who are clear with this session, you can leave for the session. Those who have any doubt, you can ask me in the chat. See, I will be not sending the what you need video link. Okay, they'll be doing that. Okay, they'll send it. Okay, any other doubt today you have regarding the session? Anybody? You can ask me in the chat. I'll give the reply. There might be some issue with the. You will get it definite. Okay, we have made a group also, WhatsApp group. If any problem is there, you can also mention in that WhatsApp. Okay. So is there any doubt regarding today's session, or can I close this session? That is here for the local people. You will be receiving very shortly. Maybe there is some technical problem. So If a local user forget the password, how to reset, we'll see in the coming day session. Any other thing? Yes, whoever is there in the evening, for them, they made one WhatsApp group. You can mention in that WhatsApp group your difficulties or any issue. You will be getting shortly. They have some problem, it seems. Once it is rectified, you will be getting. Okay. So can I close this session now? Or anybody have any queries or doubts? Yes, can I close this session or anybody want to ask any questions or any doubt? We'll discuss in coming days session. So can I close this session? Okay, I'm closing the session. So good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. Yes, somebody is saying how to know what. Whichever doubt you are having, you just write it in the chat box or we have a WhatsApp group there you mention. Okay, you will be getting shortly. Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Good night. I'm closing the session.